Hey guys, what's up? PipSnipers here, back for another update. Let's take a look here at BTC. Now, going back to yesterday's post, I did put out this post saying that we could be coming up for an E wave, and this could be a triangle pattern in a wave 4, just to around 112.459 up to 113.852, and we did that this morning, right? We saw a nice push up right off of the 61.8% fib. And where it was actually, it was off the 50% fib. And then we came up for this E wave just to the 70.2% fib, tapped the 1.236 extension. When you take a fib from the September 3rd high down to the September 4th low. So right now what could be unfolding is we just saw a E wave and a wave 4. Now we're coming down for a wave 5 of 5 of our C wave, and we're going to continue this correction. Or this move over here is your wave 1, now coming down for your ABC correction for your wave 2. But the odds favor continued downside just to around 105,000, maybe even tapping the 200-day moving average at 101,632. So in order to fully confirm that this over here is the bottom, which in my opinion I doubt it is, right? In order to fully confirm that, I would want to see a daily close back above the 21-day at 112.810. We got above it briefly over here, but now we're getting knocked down this morning. Okay, then I would want to see a daily close back above the 50-day moving average for extra confirmation at 115.521. Now, like I said, we could be coming down for a C wave, for a wave 2 to the upside, or sorry, for a wave 2 of 5 to the upside. But if we end up losing 109.597 at the 618, then it's likely we're going to have a continued move down here. Take a look here at the daily time frame. Notice how on the daily time frame we haven't really back tested this neckline. I mean, we did it once over here, but I'm looking for a little bit more of an aggressive move down to back test this neckline of this inverted head and shoulders pattern. Okay, right over here. It's been forming since December of 2024. Now, if we delete everything on this chart, you guys can see over here that whenever you get a back test in crypto, I mentioned this in many of my videos, the first back test is likely going to lull investors and bulls into thinking that was it. But what usually happens is you have a double back test, right, just to sweep this low, right? So you actually have 3 sweeps. So this is your first sweep, right? Or sorry, 3 floors, I should say. So this is your first floor. Let's take a zoom in over here. This was your back test, right? Then you had a sweep of that level, and then you see another push up. Now we need one more sweep of this low right over here to finally finish this correction. Okay, so let's say this is your downtrend, and this over here is your support, your structural support. You come down to it, right, and then you sweep that low, come down to it, you sweep the low, and then you see a push up. So that's your first floor. This is your second floor, but this push up is likely a fail break. Then you come down for one more sweep to fully back test this structural support. So usually the first and second tap of structural support is unlikely to be the bottom. You always want to look for 3 floors of price action as price starts to coil up at the lows, and especially when you see bullish divergence, right? And then we pop off from there. So that's what I'm thinking over here for BTC, is that we fully backtest this region. Now, a lot of people are saying that Bitcoin is in a bear market and Bitcoin topped out. That could definitely be the case. However, considering we have this inverted head and shoulders pattern here, it looks like all we're doing is just building a bigger base before this last push up to around, let me see here. So let's say BTC came down to the 200 day. We'll place the trend base fib like this, exactly like this. And we're looking at around 148,000, around there. Okay. But yeah, I think we're just building a base for that last push up. We'll see. I mean, if we end up losing the 200-day moving average at 101,631, this line right here, then yeah, okay, yeah, maybe Bitcoin has topped. Then we can start considering that. But right now on the small time frame, all I'm looking for, or I should say all bulls are looking for, is for 109,597 to hold, and for price to get back above the 21 day at 112,810 and the 50 day at 115,521. Otherwise, we'll have a continued move to the downside towards 105,000 down to around the 200-day moving average at 101,631. And then we should finish up the correction from there, or at least see a rebound. Okay, now when we take a look here at the RSI, take a look here at the daily time frame. Remember what I said I wanted to see on the daily before we can consider a bottom? I want to see this come down here below 30. I'll show you. Put this up here so you guys can see. I want to see it come down below 30, and then I want to see, so that's a higher low, right, from June, and then this is a lower low on the RSI. Okay, so now if this daily RSI comes back down below this 14 MA at 42.53%, then it's likely the RSI is likely going to continue down towards oversold territory at 30. So I'm looking for that hidden bullish divergence to form on the daily. And then remember, in the previous post I put out on BTC, I did say, yeah, we have bullish divergence on the high time frame, but on the small time frame, we have bearish divergence, like on the 4 hour. Let's delete everything on this chart here. You guys see how this is a lower high from August 22nd, but we have a higher high here on the RSI. So that's your bearish divergence. So that shows you that although we have bullish divergence, the prevailing trend is still down. However, it just means you're closer to a bottom, right? So you don't want to be too quick on calling a bottom, but you want to be looking for a bottom. And right now we're looking for a bottom, okay? Because we're coming closer to that inflection point. Not only the structural inflection point with this inverted head and shoulders, but also with what these fibs are telling us and these moving averages. I hope you guys enjoyed the BTC video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Peace out and take it easy. I'll see you guys in the next one.